this video, we are going to be breaking down 4 must-know Snake-Eye combos heading into this Tier 0 format. Now, if you guys are hyped for the return just like I am, please go and leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe, guys. I don't even know what we're trying to get, but I know we're about to get it. And again, guys, stay tuned for more awesome videos. Hit the notification bell, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, before we get into the combos, if you guys are not familiar with the way kind of I structured these things, I do the basic combos, I do something else, and then do like the little wonky, saucy, techie combos later on. But before we start it, guys, like, comment, subscribe now. I'm sure you guys might have seen this one or might not. This is just Bonfire by itself. Again, this can also be Snake-Eye Ash. It can be all sorts of things, whatever. That's what makes this deck really potent. But again, starting off with Bonfire, you want to activate Bonfire. Go ahead and add Snake-Eye Ash. Now, technically speaking, if you open Snake-Eye Ash, it's a little better because you don't lose to Droll on the Bonfire, and Ash being able to resolve like lets you push through so many things. Like if Ash gets drolled, it doesn't even matter. But again, this is one of those decks that like the one card combos are absolutely like it doesn't make any sense. Like I can't believe Konami did this, bro. But yeah, we summon Snake-Eye Ash, we use Snake-Eye Ash. This is going to go ahead and add us any Snake-Eye monster or level 1 monster. It's basically a Snake-Eye monster. There's a pretty niche scenario where it doesn't have to be a Snake-Eye monster, but whatever, I'm just rambling. But Ash, get Populous. Populous has the effect where if this card is added, or sorry, it's called Popular or something. I don't even know what that means, but if this card is added from your deck to your hand, except by drawing it, special summon it. If this card is normal, special summon, add 1 Snake-Eye's Trap. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 fire monster in your graveyard and put itself. So again, it doesn't need to put itself. It can just put another thing as well, but being able to have that little niche effect is kind of nice. But again, we use the first effect of Populous because she was added, summon herself out, use her effect to go ahead and get a Snake-Eye Spell Trap directly from our deck to our hand, which is going to be original Snake-Eye. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this one just off of like Infernal videos. From here, it's very crucial that we go ahead and link away into Linchpin because now we have additional bodies to kind of like for fodder to send cards away, things of that nature. Because one, this card is sent to the graveyard, you can go ahead and target 1 fire monster in your graveyard, place it in its owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell card. So again, this basically enables us to just get another card on board for cards like Snake-Eye's Ash and cards like Original Sinful Spoil. But speaking of the card, we will go ahead and fire off Snake-Eye, sending the Populous. So again, you guys can kind of see where like we don't really need additional cards. Snake-Eye Ash is already netting us tons of value, but from here, we use Ash, send away Populous, go ahead and summon out our Ponix. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, Ponix says, this card's normal special summon, add 1 fire, king, spell, trap, whatever from your deck to your hand. This will go ahead and trigger to add us our Sanctuary. We will activate the Sanctuary, which basically says when it's activated, you can activate a Fire King Island, which is all fine and dandy. From here, we can go ahead and Fire King. We can go ahead and Fire King Island off to go ahead and pop our Ponix, little fat boy over there, and then this will go ahead and add us our Garunix. Now again, add Garunix. Garunix has the whole astrograph kind of stipulation where we summon out Garunix. I know you guys like that word, stipulations, but I took a month off and I'm spitting facts now. But we go ahead and summon out Garunix. Garunix effect on field to pop. This will go ahead and pop us our Kieran. Then from here, summon out our monster, which will be our Ponix. Perfect. From here, guys, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and fire off our Snake-Eye Ash directly, because Ash can send himself and it can send our Link Creep away. It's really important to get the Link Creep away. 1, it's a Link monster, and 2, it's a Dark monster. So you guys will see why it's kind of important here. From here, we will go ahead and summon out our Flamberge, Snake-Eye Flamberge the Dragon. Now look, okay, before this card was absolutely poo, you did not want to pull an Nagov. Now when you pull it, you're like, hey, this card's pretty good because I might even play 2 of this card in my deck. Spoiler alert for more combos. But from here, we will go ahead and link our Flamberge and our Ponix away. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter because we still want 2 fires. Yes, it doesn't really matter, but what we link away. But make sure Flamberge goes. So from here, we go ahead and link 2 into our Sunlight Wolf. And then from here, this will trigger out our Flamberge, being able to summon, I believe it's 2 level 1 fire monsters or 2 level 1 monsters, whatever, from the graveyard. 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard. Summon them out. Make sure you summon 1 directly under the Sunlight Wolf, because this will be able to trigger Sunlight Wolf's effect, which you can go ahead and grab a fire monster back from our graveyard into our hand, and this is going to get the Kieran we popped earlier. The reason for that is Kieran has a quick effect where you can pop a card. It's another way to trigger Garunix, things that nature, so it's pretty broken in that regard. From here, we go ahead and we can link our 2 monsters away into IP. So again, like I said before, because we had a Dark monster, we could not make Sunlight Wolf, and because we had a Link monster, we cannot make IP. So it's very important to go ahead and sauce away the Link Creepos. Tell them to get away because we're going to get them back anyways. Make into the IP Masquerena. Now go ahead and link these monsters away into our Promethean Princess. Bro, this card and Popular, I can't believe Konami printed these cards. This card says this. you cannot special. First off, it's just generic. It doesn't make any sense. Second, you cannot special monsters except fire monsters. Oh wow, that sucks, right? No, it doesn't. And the other effect is during your main phase, you can special summon one fire monster from your graveyard. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while this card is in your graveyard, target one fire monster you control, one monster your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you do special summon this card, no, it says destroy them, and if you do, so it has to destroy at least one, but whatever. So we summon out the princess effect here. We'll go ahead and reborn our Flambirds. Now Flambirds actually has a pretty good effect. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, this card has a real effect? But I mean, before we do that, we're gonna link our two monsters away into our Ambler, Mecha equipped Ambler, whatever this guy's name is. He went from bad to good. Sky Striker players played him, they coped on him, and now he's back again. So he's pretty good. But now we can use Flambirds, which says this: you can target one face-up monster on the field or in either graveyard. Remember, it's either graveyard. So I can take this and, you know what I mean, place it face up in its owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell during opponent's turn. Quick effect, target one, special summon out if you lose the field. So again, all these Snake-Eye cards have pretty nasty effects, honestly, like a bunch of 3 effects, which is pretty stupid. But from here, we will use Flambirds, and Flambirds effect will go ahead to target out the IP Masquerade in the graveyard to go ahead and put her here, because now during our opponent's turn, we can use Flambird. So from here, we can go ahead and we can proceed to the end phase and pass our turn. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, this kind of sucks, but it actually doesn't, because now, or long gone are the boards. We're doing Appaloosa plus Infinity Negates, bro. You can't stop me. Now what we're doing is we're doing a little annoying sticky boards that kind of never leave, and you're gonna want to get forced into the resource game. So the first thing we're gonna do is we can go ahead and use Flambirds here. I misclicked completely. I was just going like, man, this deck is so crazy, so much firepower. From here, we use Flambirds. Flambirds effect here, we'll go ahead to summon out the IP Masquerade. Now we have a bunch of other lines here. One of the more popular ones that people do is they'll go like IP away, IP Flambirds, and like Ambler Will away into like an Appaloosa. There's some pretty good plays. Another good thing to do is when your opponent special summons a monster, you can use this card to go ahead and pop one monster you control, one monster your opponent controls, and then in response to that effect, chain the IP away to link everything away. So we still pop our opponent's monster, and then we end up just having all sorts of other facilities, things of that nature. Special summon this card, go into an Appaloosa. Then we still have Ambler Will as well. On top of that, once you pop, we have Garunix that's going to be coming out as well. On top of that, we have Flambirds coming out, who's going to be summoning out Ash and Ponix, and then Ponix and Ash will trigger to get more follow play and things of that nature. And you guys can kind of see how really annoying this deck gets. It's kind of one of those decks that's like a domino effect, where like it's kind of waiting, and once the chain reaction kind of builds up, it goes absolutely crazy. So again, this is a 1-card combo, and if you literally open Ash and not Bonfire, you basically have this combo essentially without or through Drone Lockbird. But that's it for the first combo, guys. Now let's get into the second combo. All right, guys, now we are getting into the second combo. Now again, because I kind of showed you the bread and butter of the first combo, I'm not gonna go too in depth into this one. I will talk about when it kind of deviates away from like the combo that I showed in whatever, what was you talking about, the first combo. But we'll use Ash here. Ash will grab us Populous. Now again, it's very standard in kind of what the deck does. We're gonna go Populous summon herself out, use her effect to go ahead and get us our original Sinful Spoil Snake-Eye. Now from here, we can do is we can go ahead and use Ash, send himself and Populous away to summon out our Oak. Now Oak has the effect where it's going to be triggering to target a level 1 fire monster that's in our graveyard or banished, special summon it. And then we also have the other effect of Populous, because she was sent to the graveyard, she can go back into the thing. So we will use this. So chain link 1 target, chain link 2 Populous. Summon out here. Now what we can do here, we can go ahead and use Oak. Oak's effect will trigger to go ahead and send itself and Populous away into our Flambird Dragon. Now again, this card's really crazy because we can just leave this on board depending on what we have to kind of give us our nib protection or nib resilience. Not really protection, but from here we link our monsters away, link these two bad boys away into our Sunlight Wolf. And then from here we can go ahead and use Flambird's effect to summon out our Ash and summon out our Populous. This will go ahead and trigger our Sunlight Wolf. Again, another misclick. Trigger our Sunlight Wolf to go ahead and add a monster. Make sure you don't add the Flambird. You want to add like anything else, because we want one additional card to discard, and we're going to be using that Flambird effect later on. And if you add the Flambird to your hand, you can't use it for the rest of the turn. So it's really important to note that, guys. Make sure you do not add Flambirds in this combo. From here we add Oak. It doesn't really matter because we've already used Oak, and Oak's already served its purpose. From here we use Snake-Eye. Snake-Eye summon our Jet Synchro. Now this is what I was saying. It's very important. Alternatively, if you don't have enough fire cards in your graveyard, you could technically use Snake-Eye now to summon the Jet Synchron, and then use Sunlight Wolf to add back the Ash if you wanted to, for whatever reason, if it gets disrupted, things of that nature. But from here, this goes ahead and summons out our Jet Synchron. From here, we go ahead and synchro these two monsters away into Formula Synchron. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. One, because you say use it, and you say just he's so tough. But secondly, this card says when this card synchro summon, you can draw him a card. Once we're turning your opponent's turn, quick effect synchro summon. He's fiber before fiber, right, basically. But from here, we go ahead and use Formula Synchron. Form Dog's effect will go ahead and trigger to draw. It doesn't really matter. Drawing Garunix, of course, is like really good there, but it doesn't really matter what we draw. From here, of course, because we have two monsters, why not just full combo into Promethean Princess? It's not really like Anaconda in a sense. It's kind of like 2.5 Anaconda, because like any 3 monsters really gets into this. It's super stupid. Like he just absolutely FTKs anything when you go into this, but to each their own, right? So we use Princess. Now again, we're only locked into fires as long as this card's on the board, which is something stupid. But from here we use Princess. Princess summons out our Flamberge. Now use Flamberge's effect here to go ahead and like scale our formidable synchro. This is why I was saying it's really important. From here, what we can do is, because we have Jet Synchro on the graveyard, we can use Jet, discard any of the cards. So I mean, it could have even been the card we drew, right? Because we have all sorts of cards. From here, summon out our Jet Synchron. From here, we're going to go ahead and link summon our monsters away. So again, a link 3 and a link 1 into our link 4 Ambler Whale. And then from here, again, like I said before, it's not the craziest end board. We're ending on all sorts of negates, things of that nature. We're literally ending on like a blue eyes kind of, and like this guy, which no one even knows what he is, but he does have pretty relevant effects. If this card is destroyed, you can target 1 link 3 or lower monster in either graveyard, special summon it. So again, in either graveyard is pretty good. The main thing is you're like going to be reborning Sunlight Wolf, and then again in combo 1 you can get IP Masquerena as well. Then he also has the other effect where if a link 3 or lower monster on the field is destroyed, you mesh a card and pop a card on the field. And it's really easy because like Promethean Princess pops Ambler Whale another card, Ambler Whale triggers to reborn out Sunlight Wolf, things of that nature, and we have all sorts of nasty plays. And of course, because we have Gurunix, you know, the world is our oyster. But from here, basically what we do is, during our opponent's turn, we use Flamberge. Flamberge summons out our Form Dog. Then here we can go ahead and use Form Dog to go ahead and Synchro away 2 and an 8. I know, it's crazy. Like every deck is making Baron. Is there an argument for Baron to be banned? Maybe, but it's like we waited literally 25 years for a good Synchro 10, or maybe not 25, but you know what I mean. But we go into this. Flamberge will go ahead and trigger to summon out 2 monsters. Then we use Ash. Then we use Oak. Oak can get banished cards if you wanted. Get this card. Use Ash. Go ahead and get us our Ponix and continue playing from there. Then we have Promethean Princess that can pop 2 cards as well. So Promethean Princess will pop Ambler Whale. Like you guys can see, the deck swarms so much, it's really difficult to OTK. And the way kind of this combo played out is because I could use Ash, I get Ponix, so now I also have my Fire King engine live as well. On top of that, I do have a Baron de Fleur. I have all sorts of other forms of disruption as well, not just my own thing. And because I have so many other cards that make me resilient to kind of annoying hand traps that your opponent plays, it's really hard to OTK, guys. That's saying that people really like these kind of resource loops, kind of your turn, my turn, let's go into time type of deck. So again, this is combo number 2. Now let's quickly get into combo number 3. Alright guys, so now we are quickly going to get into combo number 3. Now this is if you open Ash plus Temple. Temple can be all sorts of other cards as well. I just think that this is like kind of like a pretty unique combo, and having other lines, like if you have access to original as well, Ash plus Populous, things of that nature, it gets a little better because you can literally get any of those one-of spells that is in your deck. But from here, we activate Temple. Temple goes ahead and places 1 Snake-Eye monster here. If our opponent normal special summons, you summon it out. Basically, just think of it like that. They all get like 1100 attack, which is kind of irrelevant, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. But from here, we use Temple. Temple go ahead and put into our spell trap card zone our Flamberge. Then from here, we can go ahead and normal summon Ash. Ash effect will trigger to go ahead and get us our Birch. Now, this is a different one. This is specifically for pure Snake-Eye. Fire King's definitely not gonna play this, but this card has the effect where if you control a fire monster, you special summon this card, you can only use each effect monster turn, blah blah. Send to face up cards, someone from your hand or deck. Now again, if you did end up opening Populous instead and you had original, this would just be the Populous body, and you can go ahead and play from there. But from here, we go ahead and we will use Ash to send itself and the field spell away to go into Oak. Oak's effect will trigger to reborn out, and then we use these 2 monsters to go ahead and get into our IP Masquerena. From here, we can go ahead and use Oak. Oak will send himself and the Flamberge to summon out our second Flamberge. So that's what I'm saying, where pure Snake-Eye probably plays 2 of this in my opinion, especially for this unique combo here. From here, we can go ahead and fire off our Flamberge in the graveyard, because this card says this: if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, not if this monster card. Why does Konami not word these cards? It doesn't make any sense. Who cares? From here, we will go ahead and reborn these 2. Then from here, we can go ahead and link 2 away into our Pit Knight early. You guys are gonna be like, man, what is this card? But trust me, this is the sauce. Trust me. From here, we use Flamberge to get his twin, twin-headed behemoth, whatever, into our spawn trap. Now we pass. Okay, why do I have a Flamberge on the board? I will show you exactly why. Basically, the combo is kind of like adapt from the OCG. Later on, because they had the deck for so long, it was like a post on Road of the King, where I saw Pit Knight early being used, so it's pretty good. Pit Knight early says this: when a monster this card points to activates its effect, except during damage check, quick effect, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls until the end of its turn, change attack is 0, also negates effect. So again, it's pointing to IP and it's also pointing to Flamberge. So again, there's 2 kind of points of where early can be used. Then it also has another effect where it says during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card. So again, it works very well in my opinion with the Fire Kings, because like you can pop early and then keep playing and things of that nature. So it's really good. And again, it works pretty well with like SP or IP and SP, whatever, like, you know, all the P's. But basically from here we can go ahead and use Flamberge like if our opponent summons a monster, because this card activates indirect like reaction, I believe. So it'll be like chain link 1, chain link 2 type of thing. So it's pretty good. You have like an effect veiler or like an imperm or a Shishao from here. So we'll use Flamberge to go ahead and summon out. Then we can go ahead and chain Midnight early in response to go ahead and negate. And then from here, it's pretty good because now we can, like, let's say we chain IP Masquerena. We can go ahead and link 3 away into our Appaloosa. We can even get rid of this Flamberge as well to be a little bit more kind of disruptive and cancer and everything else. So this will go ahead and trigger, summon out 2. Again, now we have the combo, so you guys will see like what's going to happen. So it goes ahead and reborns. Then we have the Pawnics. Then we can keep on playing things of that nature. And like I said before, guys, if you guys don't want to play Birch, you absolutely do not have to. If you end up opening Ash plus like original Sinful Spoil Snake-Eye, things of that nature, works just as well, because you go normal Ash, get Populous, summon up Populous, get the field spell, and then activate the field spell to go ahead and get Flamberge, and then like we're basically at the same spot because we can Ash send itself. So again, Birch you don't really necessarily need to play. It's just that Impure Snake-Eye does play. And again, Midnight early works very well in this deck. But that's it for the third combo, guys. Now I'm gonna quickly get into the fourth and final kind of interaction / combo that this deck can do. Alright guys, so now we are getting on to the fourth and final combo. Now this isn't really like a combo per se, it's more of like something to note that this deck can have definitely a 1-card OTK if you kind of attack our opponent with hand traps, really slow him down, kind of dull the board in the simplified game state. And we have Ash, we can absolutely OTK our opponent. We can actually do a lot more than OTK. We can do like, I think it's 1100 if my math serves me correctly, but you guys will see. So let's say our opponent has Grunix or Blue Eyes or multiple Blue Eyes or whatever, it doesn't really matter. From here, guys, we will go ahead and use Ash. Ash effect will trigger to go ahead and add us our Populous. Populous effect in hand will go ahead and summon out, then use Populous to get us our spell or trap card. Again, getting this spell and trap card does not really matter. It can be anything really. You can technically add Wanted of the Simple Spoils, whatever. You can add whatever you want. Actually, I don't know. Is it Wanted, Simple Spoils, Snake-Eye, or Secret? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter what you add here. You're not going to really be using it. But adding the Snake-Eye just enables you to kind of push through other hand traps. So it's really good. But from here, we can go ahead and play. So what we do is we link away into our Link Creepo. Use this. Go ahead and summon it out. Then use Ash to send itself away and the Popular away into our Flamberge. Now again, if we're going second, we can use Flamberge to try one face-up monster on the field or in either graveyard and put in a spell trap guard zone. So just think about it like this, like we already removed one problematic monster or whatever, so like we could get rid of this, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you guys like what we can do technically, and this is really important because you're going to want to know when to disrupt your opponent as well when they're kind of setting up the OTK. From here, we link 2 into our SP Little Knight. Now, if we are not going for the OTK, we can use SP to go ahead and banish, but again, we just want to link 2 to go ahead and ladder. That isn't specifically IP Masquerena. I mean, if you play Hida, technically you could do it. I just personally don't like going to Hida in that regard, but I mean, if you do play Hida, you can. Anyways, we will use Flamberge here. Make sure you don't use SP to banish, because if you SP to banish, you cannot attack directly this turn. So it's really important to note that, guys. Like, don't worry about this. We have all sorts of other ways of removal. From here, we go ahead and link our monsters away into our Promethean Princess. So again, if you did play Hida, you can get Hida, and kind of if we're going second, like, you know what I mean. But it doesn't really matter. From here, we go ahead and go Princess effect to go ahead and reborn our Flamberge. So again, like I said before, if you did not use Flamberge then, you can do it now. Doesn't really matter. From here, we go ahead and link our monster away into Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. Yeah, and this card is going to be really important. When your opponent slabs Raging Phoenix on the board, you know you're about to get punched, and don't worry about this card right now. I'll explain it later on. But from here, now you can send this card away. What? A link 4 into a link 1? How does that make sense? Nani? We make World Dragon Zealantis because it says 1+ effect monster, so it works really well because it's a link 4. 1+ means a 4 into a 4. I mean, it's just a crazy card. From here, we will use Zealantis effect. Zealantis says this is: once per turn during your main phase, you can banish all monsters on the field. Special summon as many as possible that were banished by its effect to your owner field. And then during battle phase, quick effect, destroy cards up to the field up to the number of Cold Link monsters. Another important fact. The main thing is we summon Zealantis, we use his effect. He banishes, and then note that he doesn't return. He special summons as many as possible. So very important to know, okay? We're gonna use his effect. His effect will go ahead and trigger, banish, and then we banish the Grunix. Like, let's say it's our opponent's field, like, ignore that. Then we will special summon the monsters back. So we will special summon our Zealantis. Make sure you don't have any monsters kind of pointing to Zealantis. It's really important not to. and then we will put Flambirds like all the way away in like the left side, and then Gurunix will return. But because this triggers a special summon, you guys hear it first, it is a special summon. This will trigger our Promethean princess in the graveyard, because this card says this: if your opponent special summons or if a monster special summons to your opponent's field, while it's in your graveyard, target one fire monster you control, one monster your opponent controls, destroy them, and if you do special summon this card, so that will trigger Promethean princess here. So we will target our Flambirds and we will target our Gurunix. We don't want to pop our Z-Lance, of course, and then we will target these two. So go ahead and pop, and then summon up Promethean Princess. Important to note that the reason why you don't want to put any monsters in this zone is because Promethean Princess will be pointing. It's really crucial to Z-Lantis' co-linked effect, but because one of our monsters was actually destroyed, Raging Phoenix also has another effect where he says, blah blah blah, while this card, if face some fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, again, don't pop Z-Lantis, don't troll. It says this is blah blah blah, you can target one of those monsters, special summon this card, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack. So it's pretty good, because now this will go ahead and summon out our Raging Phoenix, and now because we popped our Flambird, it will gain 3,000 attack, going to a whopping 5,800. Now we can proceed into the battle phase, and now the reason why I was saying this is we also have Z-Lantis, who says this: during the battle phase you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of co-link monsters on the field. So we have Z-Lantis enter battle phase, we can go ahead and pop 2. Unfortunately, this card doesn't point anywhere else. That'd be pretty sick if it did, but again, now we will be able to go ahead and pop 2 more cards on the field as well. And like I said before, if we do not use our Flambird's effect in previously, we can use it now or before we link it off. So we basically out 1 monster, we out 2 monsters, and we end up putting up a whopping 1,100. 58 plus 27 plus 25, it's 5 million damage, guys. Now that's why I was showcasing kind of like the 1 card OTK. Now again, guys, this is just like a really quick combo tutorial, guys. I did take a small hiatus for about a month. I will be pumping out content very, very soon. I plan to stream on Twitch as well. Hopefully you guys can tune in, you know what I mean? But anyways, guys, my name's Hamza. Like I always say, keep on shining, never go on your games. Peace.